On November 18, 1978, over 900 innocent lives were taken due to the religious cult leader Jim Jones. Jim Jones started his church congregation in Indiana, and he later then moved his following to California because he believed that a Holocaust was near. In California, he created a racially integrated church that did not discriminate, and the church was called the People's Temple. The People's Temple was based off of a socialistic utopia that did not discriminate on race and poverty. Within this church, he read minds, cured cancer, and predicted the future. The church was rumored to have sexual assault cases and physical assault cases, which caused some reporters to question what was going on within that church. Threatened, Jones led 900 of his followers to Jonestown, Guyana, where there he would create his own society that would have his own rules. His followers and him built up a whole society from the ground. It was 100 miles from civilization, and the nearest town was Georgetown, Guyana. He built it in the middle of the jungle. Nobody was around. It was pretty private. Well, it was extremely private. If the members did not do what they were asked to do, they received harsh punishment like beating, and they could have possibly been dead. In the middle of the night, Jim Jones would blare sirens, and it'd wake up all his members, and he'd say white knight. And white knight meant that they would all meet inside like the town hall, and they would practice a mass suicide. So on November 17th, 1978, on November 17th, 1978, Congressman Ryan, NBC reporter, a photographer, and the loved ones of the relatives that were there set out to go to Georgetown, Guyana to investigate to see if everything was okay. They couldn't understand why somebody would want to leave America and live in a town full of nothing. Just nothing. While the congressman and his crew arrived, many of the cult members wanted to leave. This caused an uproar, and about 15 of the members left, and Jim Jones was not happy. On the way out of Jonestown, they were ambushed by gunmen, and the Congressman Ryan, his embassy reporter, and the photographer ended up dying. Everybody was shot, and a few survived. Jim Jones was sad, and he did not want any news to go back to America, so he said that he told his following that it was time to perform the Revolutionary Act. And the Revolutionary Act consisted of a mass suicide. So some of his followers made a concoction of a grape Kool-Aid laced with cyanide and sedatives. The kids were first to go, and the adults lined them up, and they put the concoction in syringes, and they put them in their mouths. Some kids refused, but they were held down against their will, and they were forced to get that syringe. Then the adults drank the Kool-Aid, and they all drank the Kool-Aid, and they died. But Jim Jones ended up dying from just a single gunshot wound to the head. All in all, Jim Jones was a sick individual that wanted to create a society, to create a utopian society that ended up being a dystopia. He manipulated the minds of innocent people, and over 900 people died. About 33 people only survived.